a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment. Inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network.
And now the good news. I'm Barbara Jean, your host, and I'm so delighted that you're here with us tonight. And it's Friday the 13th. So if we have any glitchy challenges today on our internet or whatever, well, you'll know why. Anyway, our first story today is about an amazing restaurant. As the busy holiday period wound to a close at the Standard Restaurant in Toledo, the owners surprised the staff with a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas, admitting that their team of cooks, servers, and hosts were the lifeblood of the business. Jeff Dinabel and his wife, co-owner of the Standard, Megan Lingsweller, got the idea to reward their team after enjoying a cruise vacation with their own children last year. The couple even took a few loyal customers and former team members out with them to a Royal Caribbean cruise, which stopped at the islands of Nassau and Bimini. Everybody went on there as employees, and when we left and went back home, everybody was like family. Andrew Jackson, one of the restaurant cooks, told the Toledo Blades, Sheila Howard. Jackson had neither flown nor been on a boat in the ocean before, so the experience was a life-changing one. I felt the same for server Allison Latta, who, like Jackson, said the experience turned her team members into family members. I'd been on cruises before, but this alone was probably my top vacation. It was just such a unique experience getting to see 60 of your coworkers around the boat, serving upscale American cuisine with a focus on surf and turf. The Standard is a popular spot on Monroe Street in Northwest Toledo. So you'll want to check that place out if ever in Toledo. Oh, and on to Seattle. Yes, Seattle, the place of rain. Artworks are hidden until it rains in Seattle, and now it's sold around the world. Ask anyone who lives in a rainy city, and they'll tell you that they just have to make the best of it. In Seattle, one artist did exactly that by making an eco-friendly spray material that can only be seen when it's wet. It became so popular that the city government is using it to decorate bus stops. Called Rainworks rather than Artworks, the product is sold in tandem with stencils and is based on superhydrophobic coatings. Perceptive readers may note that these coatings represent a source of the dreaded forever chemicals, but can also rest assured that the founder of Rainworks, Peregrine Church, recognized that too. Partnering with some folks in Belgium who were seeking, like Church, to make nature based hydrophobic coatings, he and his friends began with late night guerrilla artworks that would appear the following days in the rain as hidden messages or images appearing on sidewalks out of nothing. Rainwork's first social media highlight of a bucket of water tossed on a sidewalk to reveal a hidden hopscotch course went crazily viral and spawned instant demand for the product that was then just a prototype. Church said the crowdfunding platform used Kickstarter to fund the creation of a business to manufacture and market Rainworks products, and it's been going strong ever since. Seattle has such a deep connection with rain. It's integral to the culture and the personality of the city. There's also a lot of really kind, caring, passionate people here. And so I like to think about Rainworks representing both of those things. Yes, it's a rainy city. Yes, we have dreary days, but we're also making the best of it. I love that. That is so awesome. Okay, well, here's a doggy story that's, quite fascinating. A dog obsessively sniffing mom's breath detected lung cancer. Now, an e-nose is being trained to save more lives. Colleen Ferguson says her German Shepherd saved her life by detecting cancer in its earliest stages and causing her to suspect something might be wrong when the dog kept obsessively smelling her breath. For weeks, 2-year-old Inka would sniff at her mouth and frown. The 60-year-old got her teeth checked, and doctors did tests related to her gluten intolerance, but they all came back negative. Inka would not quit the habit, so the woman from Kent, England, decided to schedule a full body scan, which revealed a golf ball sized tumor in her left lung. It was stage 1 cancer. She just had this focused intent on my mouth, the former science teacher said. She would give me such a look and walk away. In no way did I expect lung cancer. It was such a shock because I'm a non-smoker and I had absolutely no symptoms at all apart from being tired. After a surgery to remove the tumor, Colleen didn't need any further treatment or radiation, and she's now making the most of her retirement years as a creative writer and published author. The surgeon told me, "We never catch it at stage 1. Your dog has saved your life." I was just so lucky to catch it that early was just remarkable. People need to listen to their dogs. I agree. Researchers in the UK have evidence that is proving that dogs can indeed detect cancer with their superior sense of smell. The nonprofit Medical Detection Dogs began a groundbreaking study in 2024 to teach 7 pooches, Labradors, Cocker Spaniels, and a Retriever how to detect tumors simply by smelling urine in pots. Dogs have shown us time and time again that diseases have an odor. We're not sure whether that is the odor of the tumor itself or the body's response to the tumor. Either way, our puppies are making a difference in the world. So if you don't have a dog, you might want to get one. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But what a great thing, a doggy that will look after stuff like that. It's just amazing. All right, yo-yo dieting. Anybody know anything about that? Well, it may actually be good for you. A new study indicates that yo-yo dieting, notice the yo-yo on the scale, they might be good for you. Also known as weight cycling, repeatedly losing weight through dieting only to regain it again, and often more pounds over time, has been criticized in previous research showing it could increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, diabetes, and higher blood pressure. But a new study published in the journal BMC Medicine shows yo-yo dieting confers long-term health benefits by reducing levels of harmful abdominal fat, also known as visceral fat. Being called the largest long-term MRI-based repeated weight loss trial, the research demonstrates that every weight loss attempt has the potential to improve overall well-being. Study principal investigator Professor Ira Shell says the research challenges the traditional focus on weight loss as a simple numbers game. Persistent commitment to a healthy dietary change creates metabolic memory in the body. Repeated participation in a lifestyle program aimed at weight loss, even after an apparent failure in which an individual gains all the weight lost in a previous diet, may lead to significant and sustainable health benefits over the years, particularly through the reduction of harmful visceral fat. Body weight alone does not capture changes in visceral fat or metabolic biomarkers. Even when weight is regained, cardiometabolic health may remain improved, and success should not be defined solely by the number on the scale. Importantly, even when weight loss is attenuated during a second attempt, the cumulative benefits for abdominal fat and metabolic health are substantial. For the study, researchers conducted a follow-up after 5 and 10 years with participants from 2 consecutive randomized controlled dietary trials lasting 18 months each, including around 300 participants. The trials analyzed participants undertaking a Mediterranean diet-based intervention with physical activity and compared them with control diets using detailed MRI scans performed before and after each intervention. Surprisingly, the study found that although participants entered the second intervention at a body weight similar to that at the start of the first one, indicating full weight regain, their abdominal fat profile and metabolic markers were more favorable. They showed improvement of around 15 to 25% compared with their initial levels, including enhanced insulin sensitivity and a more favorable lipid profile. Well, that's something to think about. I know I've been a little bit of a yo-yo, so I'm sure many more have been too. So maybe it's not as bad as we thought. Well, on that note, we're going to take a short little commercial break, and we'll be back in just a minute with more of And Now the Good News here on the New Thought Media Network. Be right back. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Oh my goodness. So this fella earns more money in an hour as Spider-Man than a full day at his old supermarket job. So a 19-year-old who gave up his supermarket job for a side hustle as Spider-Man now earns in 1 hour what he used to make in a full 8-hour day. Nate Frindall started his superhero gig 3 years ago after he dressed up as the character to see the latest film. When he arrived in costume at his local movie theater, he says he was greeted by applause and encouragement to do a backflip. And when he did, the crowd went wild. After telling his parents in Surrey, England about the encounter, he made the decision to build a new freelance gig as a superhero impersonator. He spent over $900 or 800 pounds on a high quality suit, and since then, the business has taken off. I absolutely love it. To see these kids really happy that I've made their party and turned up to surprise them is great. It has paid off too, he told SWNS News Agency. I am booked up for children's parties every weekend in March. It's lovely to see kids smile because of the realism of the suit. They genuinely think I am Spider-Man, so they get a big shock. Working at the supermarket checkout, he was paid $12.40 an hour, but now he charges $75 for a 30-minute meet and greet and $150 for an hour. Some folks pay $250 for an hour party package with games and photos, or $300 for a 2-hour party. People are always surprised. They usually think it's cool that I do this. My friends used to make fun of me, but I'm making good money. I also enjoy it, so I'm not really bothered by other people's opinions. That is a good attitude. Yeah, what other people think of you, none of your business. All right, moving right along. This one, we've got that Find My iPhone on our phones, and well, it came in handy in this case. A wife used her Find My iPhone feature to guide search and rescue to the location of her husband who had been buried in an avalanche. Michael Harris was skiing the Big Chief Bowl at Stevens Pass Ski Resort in late February when the snowpack suddenly gave way beneath him. He was caught in an avalanche and was reduced to try and use a swimming motion to guide himself narrowly around a boulder before he was buried, a sense he described as being like encased in cement. His life was immediately saved by the fact that he remained upright. Unable to move, he couldn't reach his Apple Watch nor his iPhone, even as he heard it ringing in his front pocket. So my wife was calling me, and when I was buried, I heard something. I felt someone calling me because I felt it vibrate. I could hear it ring, yet my hand couldn't get to it. Meanwhile, Harris's wife, Penny, was unwilling to drop her feeling of intuition that something was wrong, even though it's perfectly normal to not answer a phone call while skiing. Activating her Find My iPhone app with Harris's data rather than hers, she noticed it wasn't moving, and that's when she took action. She got in contact with the resort and showed staff the position of Harris's phone, which was able to guide the rescue team at the who knew they'd be an avalanche right to the buried husband and father. I was inches away from the thing that could save my life, but I just couldn't get there. And yet, because she knew how to use Find My iPhone, I'm here today. Well, isn't that a beautiful story? His daughter Lauren wrote about his condition when arriving at the hospital on a GoFundMe page, which has raised $35,000 of the $40,000 needed to cover medical bills and the family's bills, as Harris was the sole earner in the household. He was hypothermic with a temperature in the high 70s, very low 80s. After various labs and imaging, my dad sustained a contusion of his lung, pneumonia, injuries to his kidneys, and a right tibial plateau fracture. Recovery was deigned to be 14 to 16 weeks if all goes well. It's a true miracle that he survived. He didn't sustain life-altering or life-threatening injuries. Lauren said, I've been thanking God since the incident that he is still here with us. Isn't that lovely? Yay, Find My iPhone. If you don't have it set up, set it up. Okay, an American Idol singer puts music dreams on hold to save his son. A young Kentucky singer who recently appeared on American Idol is showing the world that sometimes the most important role in life isn't on a stage, it's at home with family. Just 4 days after welcoming his son into the world, 23-year-old Christian Brown stepped in front of the judges and sang his way to Hollywood Week. The Franklin, Kentucky native had been chasing a music dream since childhood, but soon after his audition, life handed him a much bigger responsibility, caring for his newborn son during a serious health battle. His son, Isaiah, was diagnosed with coarctation of the aorta, a congenital condition where the main artery carrying blood from the heart is narrowed. The condition can raise blood pressure in the upper body while limiting blood flow to the lower body. The Browns traveled to Norton Children's Center, where Isaiah underwent surgery to correct the defect. For Christian, the hospital visit carried powerful memories. When he was just 3 years old, his own brother had been treated for a congenital heart condition at the same facility. I remember being at the Ronald McDonald House in Louisville, Christian said. Now we're here with our son, and it's a full circle moment. For the moment, Brown isn't singing for millions of viewers, just his newborn son. His audience of one. If I had a record deal sitting in front of my face and my son in the other hand, I'd choose my son anytime over anything, Brown said. Music hasn't disappeared from his life, though. In fact, becoming a father has inspired him in new ways. It's love, he said, of what Isaiah brings to his life. It makes me want to write again. He's bringing the words back to the music. Isn't that beautiful? I'll tell you, parenting, interesting thing. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for darn sure. But it's definitely one of the most rewarding things in the world, is to raise some children and just go through that journey. Okay, well, here's a birthday party that went from disappointment to something beautiful. A 9-year-old's empty birthday party turns into a packed celebration thanks to kind strangers. Excuse me. What began as a heartbreaking moment for a young girl quickly turned into A joyful celebration thanks to the kindness of an entire community. Um, Isley Marquez had been looking forward to celebrating her ninth birthday. Her mother, Samantha, had put extra care into planning the party this year after missing the celebration last year because of work. Chamberlain said her daughter could hardly wait for the big day. She was really excited. She was just kind of anticipating, are you guys going to be done decorating by the time people get here? But after a half an hour passed, the party space remained empty. No guests had arrived. And I just thought to myself, no, right? Because here I am finally able to make the birthday party and nobody's here. The moment was especially painful for the mom who had been so determined to make the day special for her daughter. I kind of felt like I failed a bit, and I know that's not right, but I kind of felt like I failed her. Instead of letting the day end in disappointment, Chamberlain decided to try something bold. She turned to social media and asked if anyone in the community might want to stop by and help celebrate Isley's birthday. What happened next was more than she ever expected. Within a short time, neighbors began showing up, filling the restaurant with people who wanted to make sure the young girl had a birthday to remember. The place that we're in right now was full. It was filled with people. I started thinking, my goodness, if everybody comes, there's no way that I'm going to be able to afford all of this. The guests didn't just bring smiles, they brought presents too. Isley was thrilled as gifts started piling up. I got Pokemon cards, I got slime, I got toys. Even neighbors who couldn't attend in person found ways to send birthday surprises. It was really nice to be able to do that for her. And again, we have a daughter, so I just think about her and I hope that it brought a smile to her face knowing that we are here, was the neighbor Karina said. By the end of the day, what could have been a sad memory became something far more meaningful, a reminder of how powerful kindness and community can be. And if you ask the birthday girl, the party ended up being better than anyone expected. Isley said, I think it went great, maybe a little better than great. Way to go, Isley. Happy birthday. That's beautiful. Okay, cannabis, back in the news. A cannabis compound can cut cholesterol and lower risk of fatty liver disease without getting high. Naturally occurring chemicals found in cannabis have been shown to reduce the risk of potentially deadly fatty liver disease, according to new research. The compounds can significantly cut liver fat and cholesterol levels and improve the body's ability to efficiently process energy. The study reveals that two key cannabis compounds, cannabidiol and another one, so CBD and CBG, which are not psychoactive and do not cause a high, work by creating a backup energy reserve in the liver and restoring the activity of cellular cleansing crews to break down harmful waste. The findings, published in the British Journal of Pharmacology, highlight a new plant-based path for treating the world's most common chronic liver disorder, metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. MASLD. It's currently the world's most common chronic liver disorder, affecting around 1 in 3 adults and is closely linked to obesity, high blood pressure, and insulin resistance. While lifestyle factors such as diet and exercise are important, they can be hard to maintain, and there are a few approved medicines currently available for the condition. His team used advanced tools to show that CBD and CBG do more than just reduce fat. They found the compounds actually help the liver function better internally through a unique process of metabolic remodeling. One of the most important findings was the impact on the liver's energy reserves. The researchers found that CBD and CBG restore the activity of cathepsins, enzymes that act like a cleaning crew within the cell's recycling centers, known as lysosomes. By getting this cleaning crew back to work, the liver is better able to break down and clear out harmful fats and waste. These compounds increase levels of phosphocreatine, which acts like a backup battery to help the liver stay healthy under the stress caused by a high-fat diet. This is a new discovery, as the liver does not usually rely heavily on this specific energy system. Wow, isn't that good news for anybody who's got a challenge with the liver? And fatty liver is actually pretty common, which, makes you wonder, why didn't we find something sooner? All right. So now we have our hero of the day, and this is the young schoolboy with a can-do attitude. He has recycled 1 million cans and donated the proceeds to charity. Look at that picture. Is that awesome? Yeah. A 13-year-old boy has raised thousands of dollars for charity by recycling more than 1 million aluminum cans. Young Ryan Hulance came up with the idea as a way to make money for food banks while also caring for the environment. From his home in Solihull in England's West Midlands, he started contacting businesses asking if they could spare any cans which he could sell. Ryan started collecting a few hundred cans per week in 2023 to store at his home, which is when his parents got on board, crushing the cans to save space by driving over them in their car before Ryan backed them up. Like in the US, UK scrap metal firms pay between 10 and 50 cents per pound of aluminum. And last year, Ryan collected 8 tons of cans. 8 tons! That's a lot, which raised around $7,300 for a women's charity. Sometimes I think I'd rather be playing video games with my friends because I am 13 years old. But actually, when I think about it more deeply, I really love what I do because I get to help people and families who are in need. Over the last 3 years, Ryan has recycled an estimated 1.5 million cans, which has amassed some $20,000, every penny of which he donated to charity, and has attracted so much attention that his family were given an industrial crushing machine, which bundles Ryan's cans into large metal bales that make it easy to transport and store. And there is your good news for this Friday, March the 13th. Well, I'm so happy to be with you each week. And the New Thought Media Network is here 7 days a week. So if you haven't been taking advantage of New Thought Radio or listening to some of the other broadcasts, there are some great shows on here. You need some prayer, you need some positive input, or a great conversation. This is the place to go. ntmedia.org. And by the way, you can also donate. This is a charitable organization as well, a nonprofit, and you can donate to keep our cameras rolling and microphones hopping. So we look forward to seeing you again next week, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll have more good news for you coming up in 1 week's time. Have a wonderful weekend. Many blessings.